on when they tell us to move on. Listen to this.
It's also not a new political playbook to try.
One of the things happens to someone who's against the leadership. So why does he always put his people in color or a religion or this? There are other ways of connecting men.
I'll tell you this. When I left this country in 1948, I left this country with one reason only. One reason. I didn't care where I went. I might have gone to Hong Kong, I might have gone to Toledo, and lived in Paris, on the streets of Paris. Before $40 in my pocket, I was theory that nothing worse could happen to me there than it already happened to me here. You talk about making it as a writer by yourself. You have to be able then to turn up all the antenna of which you live, because once you turn your back on this society, you may die. You may die. And it's very hard to live a typewriter and concentrate on that if you're afraid of the world around you. The years I lived in Paris did one thing for me. They released me from that particular social terror, which is not the paranoia of my own mind, but a real social danger visible in the face of every cop, every boss, everybody. I don't know what most white people in this country feel, but I can only include what they feel from the state of their institutions. I don't know if white Christians hate Negroes or not, but I know we have a Christian church which is white and a Christian church which is black. I know it's not the next one's put it. The most regulated hour in American life is high noon on Sunday. That's just a great deal for me about a Christian nation. It means I can't afford to trust most white Christians, certainly not trust the Christian church. I don't know whether the labor unions and their bosses really hate me. That doesn't matter, but I know I'm not in their union. I don't know if the real estate lobby is anything against black people, but I know the real estate lobbies keep me in the ghetto. I don't know if the Board of Education hates black people, but I know the textbooks they give my children to read and the schools that we have to go to. Now, this is the evidence. You want me to make an act of faith, risking myself, my wife, my woman, my sister, my children, on some idealism which you assure me exists in America, which I have never seen.
And that's our black fact for the day.
Dynamic Black Facts, our culture, our history, our people. On TrueNetRadio.com.
I hope y'all got that. Okay? Now, that was on the Dick Cavett show in the late 70s. No, early 70s. Okay? And they're telling James Baldwin and black people, oh, don't even worry about all that stuff that happened in the past. Move on. Well, guess what? We've moved on to 2019, and guess what's happening? Y'all tell me. I'm tired of Robert, what's the definition of insanity?
The same thing over, expecting a different result.
There you go. We've been doing the same damn thing over for 50 damn years and expecting a different result. By the way, I'm out of my thoughts and prayers right now. I'm fresh out.
Well,
fresh out.
You gotta be at this point.
Come on, man. What are y'all doing out there? Come on, this is ridiculous. Utterly preposterous. And then here, man, 6 out of the 9 people that were killed in holy Toledo. Oh, it wasn't Toledo, Mr. President. It wasn't Toledo, Mr. President. It was Dayton, Ohio. And 6 out of the 9 people that were killed, you know what color they were?
Do not tell me that.
They were black. Do you know that the killer's sister was white and she was killed in a car with a black guy? Do you know that? I'm sorry. I don't mean to be screaming at you. I'm upset.
I understand your frustration.
Because here we are, El Paso. Oh, this is a racial killing. Well, damn, a white boy killed 6 out of 9 black people in Dayton, Ohio. And word is that he was upset because his sister was dating a black guy.
So he went down and killed his sister and the black dude because she was dating a black dude.
Notice they haven't said who was in the car with her yet, have they?
Yeah. I haven't been listening to it, honestly. I'm past all that. I know it's bad to say, but I'm past it.
This is preposterous. This is ridiculous. The media still today refuses to acknowledge white on black crime when it comes to terrorism. You all are part of the reason. You just can't blame Donald Trump on this, media. You got to blame yourself too.
It's no different than what happened in El Paso. He went and said he was going to kill some Mexicans. Hey, we are what we are. And let's not make this, right now everybody's trying to focus this on Donald Trump. But you had this craziness before Trump was elected.
Exactly.
So don't try to hang all this around his neck, because to some degree you give people a scapegoat by saying it's all Trump, because we know for a fact that it's not all Trump. Now, people say, I was reading an article talking about the FBI was talking about the Ku Klux Klan and how the Ku Klux Klan has had a resurgence, right? So something that's really interesting. You ready for this? 80% of the FBI resources, 100% of the FBI, 100% of their resources, 80% they use for what do they call it? International terrorism, right? They use 20% of their resources for domestic terrorism. Now, what's crazy is you've had more people killed by domestic terrorists in the last 20 years.
Since 2011.
You can add in 2011 and you still have more deaths on American soil by domestic terrorists.
Because we fail to forget the most horrific domestic terrorist act was on a mural federal building in Timothy McVeigh. Oklahoma City.
I can't remember how many died in that one. Let me look it up real quick.
So you're exactly right. When you encompass all of that, and see, this is what I'm saying about the media. The media has refused to even address white domestic terrorism. Every time this pops up, let me tell you all something. I suffer from a mental disease, okay? It's called depression. Let me say that again. I suffer from a mental disease called depression. I'm being real with you. I have never, ever, ever, never, ever, never, ever, never will go and shoot up a mall or a disco or a school or a movie theater. So let's stop scapegoating people with mental illness, okay? There are thousands of Americans, in fact, millions of Americans walking around this country right now with various types of mental illness. They're not shooting up buildings.
In Oklahoma, you had 168 confirmed dead. You had 600, and they said plus one possible additional fatality. Now, you had 680 plus injured.
Think about that.
Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols.
Think about that.
Now, when you add up all these shootings, because I can't remember the number from the World Trade Center. I want to say the number was like 3,000 or 1,200. I can't remember now. But still, for that kind of impact, we still don't have more resources going toward domestic terrorism.
Remember, the Black Panthers were murdered, framed, jailed. Many of them still sit in prison today for only trying to serve breakfast to black people, for only trying to give health care to black people. Those same programs that exist now today were started by the Black Panthers, but they are in jail, they were killed, they were murdered. It runs the gamut of what the Black Panthers, how they were treated. Yet the KKK is allowed to walk around and pretend like there's some nonprofit organization. What are y'all thinking? What about your thoughts and prayers now? Are they working? I need to know. I want to know. When are they going to start working? Mr. Republicans?
You had 2,977 killed in the World Trade Center, with 6,000 others injured.
I'm hot, man. I'm tired of y'all. You look at, my prayers go out to El Paso. My prayers going out to Dayton. Well, did you know over the weekend that there were 12 people shot and killed in Chicago? Y'all don't stop praying for Chicago, huh? Did y'all know that?
Yeah. But like I said, Dave, it's an issue that needs to be addressed. However, I don't think that'll happen.
No, it isn't.
Because everybody wants to talk about guns. You can't have a conversation about these killings and talk about guns. Because at the end of the day, I know I'm a big fan of the Second Amendment. I love guns.
I am too.
I think everybody should have a right to that gun. But at the same time, I do understand the frustration with these shootings. Let's address the real cause. Let's not address the symptom. I think the gun is a symptom. Mental illness, however, is a problem. Because you got to be crazy to go into some place where you know no one and just open up fire on them. You cannot be in your right mind to do that.
Well, I hear that argument, and you're right to some extent, but that's more than mental. That's an indoctrination. That's not a mental illness. That's an indoctrination. When you go out and read this guy's, the one of many manifestos, they're saying the same thing that those white boys were saying when they went Charlottesville 2 years ago. You will not replace us. That's not a mental illness. You see what I'm
I'll put
saying?
it this way. I understand you feeling like you don't want to be replaced, but to actually inflict harm on somebody else that you don't know, you've never seen, you have no beef with, well, other than the color of their skin, something has to be wrong with you.
See, Robert, this is what I've been talking about here. See, when you realize, think about it, and I guess the only way I can relate to it is, and it hadn't happened to me, but think about the child who grows up thinking, and I keep thinking about the parent, and I believe it was in North Carolina, and there was a black parent, and her daughter was taken from her by one of the nursing assistants when she was born. Okay? They just recently, 3 or 4 years ago, found out what had happened, and the real mother, the birth mother, went to try to have a relationship with her daughter who had been stolen, but there was no relationship.
Right.
Okay? She couldn't have a relationship with her.
Okay.
So I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that people get detached from this issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's like anything. We normalize it at some point.
So, I'm just tired of thoughts and prayers, man. I mean, I got my trunk in my car full of thoughts and prayers, back seat, closet at home. I got a storage bin that's full of thoughts and prayers. Man, they ain't being useful.
They not. But thoughts and prayers is the easy way to say your thing, and I have to deal with the real issue. So it is what it is.
Did you hear the president's press conference this morning?
I did not.
You did not.
I did not.
Okay. I was wondering if he would take questions.
He did not.
He did not. I mean, he and Pence ran out of that room like there were mice on their tail. I should say rats on their tail. You know, this amazes me that, because like I say, all of this racism, all of you white people have a part to play in this, because the analogy that I was making is that child now don't want to have a relationship with the parent because that child has been told something that he don't want to believe. And white people have realized that they were not the first people in this world. That we didn't come from them, they came from us. And they're beginning to realize a genetic reality that, hey, we are becoming extinct. Texas, the state which that shooting happened over the weekend,
Right.
is already majority minority.
Yeah.
There are 14 other states in the union that are already majority minority.
Mm-hmm.
There are up to, I believe, last count, 21 states where white people are dying faster than they are being born.
California's one of them.
So if you don't want to be replaced, maybe you need to get to getting you some and having some babies. You know, part of the reason that you're upset about abortion, see, I've said this over and over again. This is part of why they want to stop abortion, because their goal is to try to stop their white women from having babies. This is part of all of that, from having abortion so they can have babies.
Right.
because the genetic reality is hitting them in the face.
I don't think it really matters. And for me, looking at the census data, I think black folks, we should also have concerns because we're going from being a second-class citizen to third-class citizens. And if second class was bad, I can only imagine how third class is.
Here's an article that just popped up on News One. This is God, I can't think of his name now. The black guy used to be on CNN. I can't even think of his name.
Are you talking about my man, Roland Martin?
Roland Martin. God, I just went blank there for a moment. People are still trying to understand why 24-year-old Connor Betts from Bellbrook, Ohio, killed 9 people. 6 were black in Dayton's historic district. Okay. However, one of the victims was his sister, Megan Betts, who was reportedly dating a black man. There were theories on social media blaming the motive for blaming this for the motive for the shooting. We know what it. Okay, the Dayton shooter killed his sister because she was dating a black man. He then proceeded to kill 5 more black people just because. See, this is the point that I'm making here. Okay, Lois Ogilvy, black female. Saheed Salih, black male, 38. Derek Fudge, black male, 57. Logan Turner, white male, 30. Nicholas Comer, white male, 25. Thomas McNichols, black male, 25. Beatrice Warren Curtis, black male, 36. And Monica Brickhouse, black male, 36. So 6 out of the 9
Monica
victims.
Brickhouse, black male, 36?
I mean, black female, 36. You never know these days, though, some of these names. So the question is, folks, why are we afraid, or why are we allowing the media not to paint the killing in Toledo as a racial killing? Because that's what it was.
Is he still alive?
No, he's dead.
That guy's dead. Okay.
Yeah.
But the one in
the one in El Paso.
He lived.
Mm-hmm. Now the one in, I guess they figured they had to take him down in Toledo. I mean, in Dayton,
Right.
because he had body armor. And I'm curious, if he had body armor, how'd they kill him in 24 seconds?
Shot him in the head, bro.
But
I don't think the body armor does protect. It protects all your vital organs. Just doesn't protect your head.
But don't you wear body armor for your head?
No, there's no body armor for your head. I mean, I'm sure you can wear some kind of muscular or something.
Well, don't you remember the guy in California? This had to be 20 years ago. The bank robbers.
Yeah.
Don't you remember all that body armor that they were taking down police?
But
They-
you gotta remember too, they were shooting. They were shooting different types of weapons.
Yeah, but still, they were walking down the street and they were taking shots all in their head. If you get an opportunity, I'm sure that video was out on Facebook somewhere. I mean, on YouTube somewhere. It was 2 of them. This happened. It had to at least be 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, but I was thinking they were just shooting heavy artillery. They were not.
No, they were taking some punishment from the police. They ended up killing quite a few police, from what I understand, if I remember correctly. But my point being is, how you gonna have body armor and you don't have body armor on your head? But anyway, he's dead. But the fascinating thing about the guy in El Paso, now you done killed 29 people, bro. You done injured what? 27 others. Police know it's an active shooter situation. They see you with the gun. And I guess when they said, drop the weapon, he said, oh, I'm done. How is it you don't shoot and kill this guy? And more importantly, when they showed pictures of him, he didn't have a bruise. He didn't have a scratch. He didn't have nothing on him that suggested, hell, he could have been out for tea and crumpet for all we know. But you killing black folks for reaching for their cell phone, dude. You killing black women because they don't like what you say to them. You handcuffing young black children and knocking them off bicycles but you can't kill someone who had just killed 29 people. Tell me racism doesn't exist in America. Come on.
Yeah, they didn't have body. They had body. They didn't have anything on their hands.
They didn't? Oh, man. This is just crazy, man. I don't know. I don't know. I would love to be able to sit here and give you all answers. I don't have any answers. But y'all better stop listening to these damn Republicans. That's one of them. I got a list of everyone. We're going to go through this morning. I got a list, and I'm going to go. Did you know that the NRA donates 98% of their money to Republicans?
Mm-hmm.
And did you know that last election cycle, presidential election cycle, that they donated over $30 million, and that money came from, guess who?
I'm not surprised.
No, that money that the NRA donated came from.
Came from us.
No.
Who it come from?
It came from Russian oligarchs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow, this is just crazy.
See, this is the thing. Everybody acts like these things are uncommon. And this is politics. I mean, Republicans get money from the Saudis. I mean, Democrats get money from the Saudis. So, I mean, it's no different.
Ted Cruz, $360,000. Marco Rubio, $176. Paul Ryan, $171. Ron Johnson, $165. Rand Paul, $155. Pat Toomey, $79. Ryan Zinke, $79. And I'm saying these are thousands, by the way. Martha McSally, $77,000.
That's what they reported.
Say it again.
Yeah, that's what they reported.
Okay. Ted Young, $73. Joe Heck, $68. Rod Portman, $64. Kelly Ayotte, $64. Mia Love, $63. Charles Grassley, $53. Roy Blunt, $49. Richard Burr, $47. Kevin McCarthy, $42. John McCain, $38. Johnny Isaacson, $36. Will Hurd from Texas, who just over the weekend prior to the shooting said he wasn't running for the Republicans anymore. He's done. And by the way, he's the only black House of Representative that's a Republican. And he's done. Now, every one of those names that I just gave to you, the top 20 were Republicans. Now, if I'm giving out, man, that's quite a few millions right there. If I'm paying all that to you, yeah, I expect you to support me.
Oh, yeah, I'm buying your support, yeah. Without a doubt.
Hello? Y'all wonder why this ain't going, and here's the other thing, this is going to blow over. Both of them is going to blow over. Hell, we just had the Garlic Festival shooting 2 weeks ago.
It wasn't 2 weeks ago.
It wasn't even, it was a week ago. You see what I'm saying? We just had that shooting.
Yeah. But again.
wait a minute, I gotta get, wait a minute. Woo, I just got a thought and a prayer. Did y'all feel it? Did y'all get it? Did y'all get that thought and prayer down there in El Paso? Well, maybe we need to keep them for Little Rock because apparently this could happen anywhere. By the way, Asa, he came out, he issued some concerns about the shooting in El Paso. But Asa, what you doing about those 8,000 white supremacists that make Arkansas their home? See, that's the stuff we got to start calling out, man. You can't sit around there and tacitly approve of what these people are doing by saying, oh, that's them. And then you use that dog whistle politics to get them stirred up. I mean, this is what I call the Charles Manson syndrome. Charles Manson never killed no one. Think about that. Mm-hmm. Manson never killed anyone.
Yeah. That's a good point, Dave. That's an excellent point.
Think about that, folks. Charles Manson never killed anyone. Now, if you want to see how horrific Charles Manson was, go back and read Helter Skelter. I read it in high school. Go read it. Here is a man. Oh, by the way, y'all remember Jim Jones? Do y'all remember Jim Jones? Mm-hmm. Just by mere words, he made people drink poison Kool-Aid. And y'all sit around and think, oh well, Donald Trump, he's not a racist. But he's not doing any of those dog whistle politics.
But that goes back to the point I made earlier about there has to be something a little off about you to drink Kool-Aid from some guy who tells you to drink the Kool-Aid, you're gonna come back and everything will be wonderful. You're gonna have a better life. You got to be a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs to even do that, right? And these guys, I mean, that's no different than these guys who fly planes in the buildings because people tell them, hey, you're going to get 100 virgins. Now, I have to think about that one a little bit if somebody tells me that. I actually have to think about that one. But you have guys now who are being told these things, right? And for whatever reason, it just doesn't work out, right? It just doesn't work. Because I'm a little confused now because, see, we're having this big conversation about, these shootings, but the rhetoric is still the same.
Yes,
There's no new rhetoric. There's no talk about mental illness. There's no talk about these divisive...
No, it's the video games, Robert. It's the video game. It's the video games that's causing this problem.
Well,
we need to get on those video games. That's the problem.
There's something that's troubling me. And the thing that's troubling me is that when you think about when folks brought blacks over here as slaves, what was the rationale? What was the rationale they used to enslave and abuse another human, right? What was that rationale? How could you justify those acts, right? Now, somebody made this point this week. They said, hey, maybe there's something wrong with some people, white and black, when they can do these heinous acts and justify them and still go on about their life, go to church, praise the Lord, do the whole gamut of things. Are they not sociopaths? Because think about it. You're talking about people who, it's not like we're talking about terrorism in 2000. Let's talk about terrorism in 1619. Let's talk about terrorism in 1700. I mean, black folks have experienced this terrorism since our existence in this country, but there's no conversation around that. We have been terrorized in America, and we still continue to be terrorized, and there's no conversation about it. So, to the good people who say, this is a terrible thing, I ask the question: how were you able to justify? How were your forefathers able to justify slavery and the brutality they instilled on black people? How were they able to justify that?
Do you want me to answer that? You want me to answer for them? Because I can't.
They're justifying this. They're justifying the brutality now.
Right, but that's exactly what we started with, Robert. Is that what we're seeing here? Is it's a repeat of their history. They turn the other cheek. As I sat over the weekend and listened to the few Republican pundits who would come on the air, because many of them were ducking and dodging over the weekend. Okay, in fact, CNN called them out because they all ducked and dodged. But the few that would come on, let me just let you listen to Eddie Glaude, Dr. Eddie Glaude. This is a professor from Princeton. This is his brother. If y'all are not following him, you ought to follow this brother right here. Listen to this right here, because this is profound in what he said.
He can't even acknowledge that it was a domestic terrorist act. How many times did you use the phrase and he wouldn't acknowledge it? What did he say? He said it was a person who was crazy, a nut with guns, right? And that's always the case, right? When we had, if it was a Muslim, it would have been a terrorist act. Donald Trump would have already been on television, not a tweet. He would have already done a press conference, right? But when it's white men engaging in this sort of action, we get this sort of account, right? That we want to go to their mental health. Let's just stipulate that they're crazy. Let's stipulate that they're crazy.
Everybody who kills people are crazy.
Something's wrong. Let's stipulate to that. But there's an ideology at work here. When you use the same language that we've heard, the same language that we heard in the clip. And let me say this, for a lot of folk in this country who are black and brown, for a lot of folk in this country who are not white men, it feels as if some white men have lost their damn minds, Chuck, and we have to bear the burden of it.
Booyah.
Yeah. I just said the same thing.
Exactly. That's why I played it, because I was thinking that you were on that mental note with that great professor from Harvard at the time.
I am just, I'm constantly amazed. I'm constantly amazed at the double standard. I'm constantly amazed at the lack to address issues. I'm just always amazed, because it seems like you give white men who do this, you give them a pass. I mean, I want to tell you, the Dylan Roof thing was the one that took me over the top, that I said I'm done. Mm-hmm. Because this cat kills 9 black folks, and they taking the Burger King. It's like a reward. Mm-hmm. We appreciate what you did. That's 9 less we got to deal with. At that point, I'm done. Because let me tell you what's crazy. You already have police officers killing black men, unarmed black men. Then you get a man who goes into a church. He kills 9 people, and then they take him to Burger King, or they give him Burger King. I mean, is that not me? That's like shooting me, stabbing me, drowning me, bringing me back to life. Then you stab me some more, drown me again, and bring me back to life again. I mean, how much more do I take? How much more of this do I take? I mean, I think we're at a crucial point in America.
I agree. Let's listen to a little bit more.
But I take that back, because I know black people, we're not going to do anything. We're going to keep praying and going to church, because
we're going to send them thoughts out, though, bro. Got a thought for you.
Because the thing is,
pray about it.
Black folks say, I ain't worried about this place. My heaven is in earth, and God ain't going to
let me. We in the last days, so while you in the last days, you ain't going to do a damn thing. Is that what I understand? Let's listen some more. Y'all get mad at me all you want. You ought to be as angry as I am right now. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. Not just these shootings. I'm tired of racism in America. I'm 58 years old. I thought by now it would be gone. But apparently it isn't.
Racism will always exist. Racism motivates everything. Racism generates revenue. It also generates votes.
That's clear.
It also, I just had my brain just froze up. But those racism has its place, and people have learned that racism is profitable, and so there is no way that I could ever see us getting rid of racism, because if you get rid of racism, then there'll be another ism that'll take its place.
Let's listen to a little bit more Eddie Glaude, and are you going to forgive Ronald Reagan for his racist comments? We'll talk about that in a moment.
Discourse in which people are dehumanized, where you use a phrase like illegal immigrant, where the phrase itself places that person outside of a certain kind of sense of empathy and decency. What happens?
Otherizing.
What happens when we use language like infestation, children? You use this, Governor. Children carrying perhaps disease across the border. What happens? You set the stage for people who are even more on the extreme to act violently. We are in a cold civil war. And there's some people who bear the burden of it, Chuck. There's some of us who bear the burden. You could not blame anyone other than Oswald. My parents had to worry about other folk because we grew up in Mississippi. You had the luxury not to worry about the context, but we had to live. We had to grow up in it. So here we have children. I'm sorry to go on and on. We have children in El Paso right now, right, who just witnessed their family members, their friends, shot down because somebody thinks there's a Hispanic invasion of the country, which is almost the exact same language of the President of the United States. Governor, you can't condemn that without making the equivalency moves.
Well, I'm not going to condemn people who use illegal immigrant terms.
Of course, why not?
No, in this.
Why not?
Let me speak. We have laws on the book against illegal immigration. If we get rid of those laws,
no human being is illegal.
With all due respect, that's not what we're talking. That's not what we're talking about.
He just brought it up.
That's not the conversation we're having. Lyndon Baines Johnson was not out there when Lee Harvey Oswald shot John F. Kennedy talking about race and giving all kinds of incentives. And I mean, what do you expect the President of the United States to say after something like this happens and leading up to it? I mean, there are clips of him in Florida where somebody yelled at his rally, shoot them, shoot the immigrants, and he said, well, maybe you could only get away with that here. I mean, that is the conversation that we are having.
Do you understand how profound that was, that clip? You haven't seen that clip, have you? This rally happened, I believe, in Florida on Thursday or Friday night, where he asked the question to the crowd, well, what would you do with them? And they said, shoot them. Saturday, this guy goes to El Paso. He drives 6 hours, Robert, to go to El Paso. And his words were, he wanted to kill as many Mexicans as he could.
He lived to tell the story.
And he lived to tell the story. He didn't have one bruise on his body. And I'm going to say it again. Charles Manson is in prison for life. And he never killed one soul. Yet we have a similar personality running this country. And everybody think it's okay. We're gonna send. That's what concerns me. That's what Eddie Glaude was calling that governor out. That was a Republican governor, okay, from North Carolina, who this is their game is that when you call them on a fact, they try to switch it off. That's not. He wasn't talking about immigration. Eddie Glaude was talking about how you dehumanize individuals, people. When you see them as other, when you don't see them as human, it's easy. You made the point about 1619. When you don't see people as human beings, then it's easy to dehumanize them. It's easy to make them sleep on blankets. It's easy to enslave them and rape their women and sell their children because you don't see them as human. Man.
Yeah.
I could just take my hand and choke every damn one of these folks.
We gotta calm down, man. We gotta hold another hour left.
Woo-saw.
Woo-saw, right.
I'm tired of this. I'm not just tired of these shootings.
But this
I'm tired of this stupidity.
This is not new.
And I'm tired of people sitting around expecting change, and you know it's not going to do anything until you change it. I read that list of those Republican payoffs purposely to let you know that they don't give a damn about you as a voter, as a human being. They only care about dead presidents, and that's the kind that they can cash off in their bank. They had legislation right now sitting on the Senate floor that Mitch McConnell will not even bring up to a vote that could have stopped some of this.
I don't believe anything you do, you will stop these guys from killing people. I don't care what kind of legislation you pass, it's not going to stop these guys from killing people. You come up with a way to do it, they'll figure out another way to make guns shoot automatic. It's not going to happen, man. I mean, I know everybody wants to believe that we can make that happen. I just don't. I just don't believe it'll happen. Right?
But Robert, I don't even want to deal. I don't care about the guns. See, it's the ideology just killing people.
Yeah.
And had this country simply had you look, they opened up case files on Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. Now, Black Lives Matter is an organization that was designed to bring to light police brutality in the black community. Yet the FBI opened up case files on Black Lives Matter. They have never even looked like a violent organization. Yet, the KKK, and you go back and look at FBI files, the KKK has been rising and rising. You talked about the numbers that have increased over just under the Trump administration. Yet y'all not investigating them.
The numbers actually started to increase under the Obama administration.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Give me strength here.
Like I said, this for me, I'm not as tore up about it as you. And the reason why is that I've been watching this at the city board meetings for 14 years. Let me see, 2002. About 17 years. I've been watching this at the city board meeting. I see this when I drive through my neighborhood. I see this when I look at what happens in local schools. I see this already. Now these shootings and what's happening with the whole movement of white supremacy, that's not new. It's not new. I mean, these things have been happening systematically in our city. I mean, let's just think about it. Let's just take a tour of our city for a little bit. I mean, where do you want to go, Dave? We can go anywhere, and I can give you a great example of white supremacy at its best. This is nothing new.
I agree.
Now the shootings, everybody gets outraged about the shootings, but go look at the Little Rock School District. White supremacy at its best. Go look at the Pulaski County Jail. White supremacy at its best.
I was hoping that I was going to play this for you real fast.
Go ahead.
But they've taken it down. This is by, and I'll read the text to you, because see, remember when they did Charlottesville, and I made the point that those weren't old white men marching; those were young white boys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Soon they'll be your governors, your congressmen.
Okay.
Your state legislature.
Here's Parker Mustian. He's a 16-year-old former student at Cardinal Newman High School in Columbia, South Carolina, and he was arrested by local law enforcement officers last month after he appeared in a pair of racist public service announcements that were circulated among students at school. Mustian is further alleged to have threatened to shoot up the Catholic school following his expulsion last month. Howdy, I'm Parker Mustian, and I hate black people. He begins in the first clip. They're the worst. They're stinky and they just suck. They're just bad people. Mustian proceeds to fire a weapon that he claims are at a box of Jordans, the favorite pair of shoes for the black man. I'm going to show you just what I think of a black man. He unloads the weapon into the box of shoes. F all N-words. In the second video, it seems that our N-words hasn't quite learned his lesson yet, Mustian said. It seems like he needs 25 rounds to the dome. By the way, this kid right here, he is the son of one of the most politically active white families in South Carolina. Okay. So he's 16 years old. So here's my point. I've said if you wanted to get rid of racism, white people have to get rid of it. The reason racism still exists today is because of white people. Okay? Don't get mad at me. Doubt me. I got facts. Do you have the counterfacts? No, you don't. So if you want to get rid of racism, white people get it. So why were those young boys in Charlottesville marching, we can't replace it? Where'd they get that from? No, it's not the internet. We're not going to let you blame the internet either, okay? We're not going to let you blame video games. You know where they got it from? You know where this 16-year-old kid, because someone had to buy him that gun, okay? That automatic weapon that he was using in that video. Now, Twitter has taken the video down. But the point I'm trying to make to you is that this young kid, along with all these other white kids, white boys particularly, are running around learning this because you know what? Daddy and Grandpappy is sitting around saying this to them. Don't be fooled. So you dummies out there who still think that, racism gonna disappear. No, they're rebreeding it. They're inbreeding it. It's over and over again. It's pretty clear now. Look, I haven't seen any of the white churches come out and condemn this racist killing over the weekend. Where y'all at? I call y'all the Christian Taliban. Where y'all at? I need y'all to speak up.
What are they going to say, Dad? What are you expecting them to say?
You say something? Come on, man. This is utterly preposterous here.
No way, Black. They're not going to say that.
You get my point?
Yeah.
You talked about those institutions that enabled what we have today. It's these white churches. It's these white organizations. That's what James Baldwin in that first clip that I played is talking about. It's your institutions. And you expect me to trust you now? Hell no.
We back to value, Dad.
There you go.
We're right back to value. Right where we started from, we're back to value.
It's ridiculous.
Are blacks value? No. It's not ridiculous, man. It is what it is.
No, but see, I'm more angry at people, I guess, than
Why are you
here's why. Because I've grown to understand and expect the worst from this government. Okay? not in recent times, but in studying the history of this government, I expect the worst from this government when it comes to people of color. It's historical. We don't have to debate that, okay? What I get upset about is people just sit around and simply say nothing or do nothing. That's what I'm saying. Because if I'm thinking about the people in Puerto Rico last week. Their governor, they made their governor resign. Do you understand that? They made the governor resign because those people mobilized themselves and said, we're going to be in these streets every day. We're going to shut down this city until you leave office.
Yeah, I get that.
This is an American territory. This is not some foreign land. They vote just like we do. They worship the flag just like some of y'all do. And they made their governor resign. They got active in their state. They got active in their politics. But we in America, we always sit around, well, I'm going to send you some thoughts and prayers. Get the hell out of here.
Well, hey, you've been too hard on us.
Good.
You've been too hard on us.
Why?
'Cause I don't think a lot of people know what to do. A lot of people who are frustrated, I don't think they know what to do. I don't think they know a good cause of action. You know, I don't think they have a good cause of action. I don't think they have a good plan to action, I should say, not cause of action, but plan action.
Just get out of your house. Do something. Because sometimes when you don't know where you're going, you just got to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? And I think you're right. There isn't there is a vacuum of leadership, certainly in our community, but clearly across this country, whether it's white or black. There's a vacuum of leadership. You know what? Lyndon Baines Johnson was one of the racist SOBs there were.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
But Lyndon Baines Johnson understood history.
Yeah.
He knew that he had to pass the civil rights legislation. He knew it. He didn't want to do that. So, see, that's, as much as you hate to say it, that's leadership, dude.
Well, it depends on who you talk to.
Man, there's a vacuum of leadership. So sometimes you just got to you just got to go. If enough people start hitting these streets every day, it's like Asa Hutchinson. You know, he's talking about thoughts and prayers for the people of El Paso. Dude, you got 8,000 white supremacists living right here in Arkansas that make their home here. And if it's 8,000, it's more than 8,000. If that's the 8,000 they can document, it's more than 8,000. You get that, right? But yet Asa Hutchinson has done nothing. His attorney general has done nothing. Where are the task forces that you put together to combat white supremacy? Where are they? Where is it in Alabama? Where is it in Mississippi? Where is it in California?
Usually the FBI is usually the organization that deal with these kind of things. I mean, of course, they dealt with the Black Panthers, right? They dealt with the Muslims, not the Muslims, but the Nation of Islam. So I'm confused why we haven't had, well, no, I'm not. I'm not confused now because, again, 80% of the FBI's resources goes to international terrorism, not domestic. So I see where that's problematic. But again, I mean, I think it's a good conversation. The conversation we can discuss more. I think we need to have some explanation to why they don't show. I mean, because these guys, I mean, man, come on, this guy put a manifesto up. How could you not catch it? How does that not get caught? Right?
Oh, did you see the picture that he took where he had his guns? He had multiple weapons. He had taken pictures and he had spelled out Trump with his guns.
Are you serious?
You didn't see, oh, you hadn't been, you hadn't.
I don't.
He spelled out Trump with his guns. Okay? Just to your what you were talking about, the FBI. FBI agents are reluctant to pursue white nationalist extremists because they don't want to target Trump's base, former counterterrorism official says. A former FBI counterterrorism official, David Gomez, told the Washington Post that he thought that a fear of being seen as targeting Donald Trump's base was muting the agency's response to violence of white nationalists. There's a reluctance among agents to bring forth an investigation that targets the president perceives as his base. The comments followed the attack in El Paso. So here is a former intelligence agent who is saying that they won't even go after these folks because they're Trump's base and they'll be perceived as being biased. Now wait a minute. These people are killing people. These people are threatening to kill people. Who gives a damn if you're perceived biased? Oh, by the way, Texas, Robert, I forgot. Texas is an open carry state. Where were all the good guys with the guns, man?
Arkansas is open carry.
Where were the good guys with the guns?
They wasn't in Walmart.
Maybe they were fishing.
They wasn't in Walmart.
Every stupid ass talking point that these Republicans have come up with in these situations, you have prima facie evidence that it makes no damn sense. It makes no sense. Where were the police? Oh, that's right. In Dayton, they dropped him in 24 seconds. Oh, that's great. He still killed 9 people and injured 24 others. Why didn't y'all stop him beforehand? Since police, I would argue that police failed. If we followed their mantra. Wouldn't you say so, Robert?
Yeah.
Come on. Where were y'all? Man, were y'all eating donuts? I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm just tired. I've given out all my thoughts and prayers. And unfortunately, I know more of these things are going to happen. By the way, investigators have said the gunman left a racist manifesto on the message board 8chan ahead of the attack. Y'all know who 8chan is? 8chan is the racist, white supremacist message board that they found some cops posting on that board as well. Back in a moment. It's Black Focus Radio. Are you as mad as I am? Then go take a shot of tequila and join us in a moment. I can't take one. You got some, Robert?
What, tequila?
Yeah.
I can make it happen, player.
All right. See, that's why I like my dog real good. Are you looking for that picture?
Can I talk to you for a moment? How many people have come up to you and said, hey, I didn't know you had a business? Yeah, that could happen when you don't advertise. I have a solution for you. Advertise on joinetradio.com and let the world.
I thought I posted a piece by Christopher.
Advertising is so
Christopher
expensive.
Ray.
I've got a great package for you that will cut your expense and increase your bottom line. It's only $125 for start opening your businesses. Call me.
Here you go. Ohio lawmaker Candace Keller blames gay marriage drag queen advocates for the Dayton shooting.
Now is the time to tell the world, hey, I'm in business. Come spend your money on quality goods in my store. Let us help you at joinetradio.com. Here's the number. Call me 615-554-0568. We are here to assist you in building your brand.
Hi, I'm attorney Theo Thompson from the Thompson Law Firm.
So homeboy was mad because a brother was laying pipe to his sister, huh?
For family law.
Was he dating her?
I can be reached at 501-503-5095. Don't face your legal issues alone. You need an attorney whose primary objective is to provide you with the best legal representation. Our office address is 415 North McKinley, Suite 710 in Little Rock.
So he kills the sister and the boy in the car with him.
I'm I'm so glad I found a Kick Above. It's like my very own personal training studio. A Kick Above removed the guesswork and intimidation and offered me a very supportive and structured environment.
Yeah, they done killed this white boy's video.
And her certified personal trainers even offered nutritional guidelines for my personal workout. It's about me and a Kick Above. Call 501-868-8850 or go to akickabove.com. Now, what am I wearing tonight? Thanks to a Kick Above, I look marvelous.
Mitchell Funeral Home welcomes all of Arkadelphia and Arkansas in Clark County since 1966. At Mitchell Funeral Home, they understand that the funeral is a celebration of a life and legacy. So the entire staff takes great pride in the caring, personal, and professional services they provide. Cremations, funeral planning, burial policy, life insurance.
Oh, I know what I want to
and
play.
monument sales are just a few of the services. Flexible packages are available.
You probably didn't hear Beto O'Rourke. You probably didn't hear Beto O'Rourke, did you? He dropped the F bomb. Let me see if I can find it. CNN beat it out.
2611.
Because, you know, Beto O'Rourke lashes out in question about Trump's language after mass shootings. And you know what? He makes great sense on this. I'm going to play this when we get back.
Okay.
Because,
I'm going to read too, so
all right. Uh-oh. Oh, man, that's funny. My boy Beto.
The views and opinions expressed today on Black Focus Radio are not the views and opinions of the station, its management, or its advertisers. Now, let's get ready to focus on our issues, our solutions, using our voices on Black Focus Radio.
Welcome to Black Focus, the show designed with our community in mind, where we focus on our issues, developing our solutions, using our voices. Central Arkansas, surrounding areas, and the nation. Get ready. Black Focus starts right now. Phone lines open at 855-525-5683. So here's your host, David W. Coleman and Robert Webb.
You know what he's been saying? He's been calling the Mexican immigrants rapists and criminals. I don't know, members of the press, hold on a second. You know, it's these questions that you know the answers to. I mean, connect the dots about what he's been doing in this country. He's not tolerating racism, he's promoting racism. He's not tolerating violence, he's inciting racism and violence in this country. So, you know, I don't know what kind of question that is.
Welcome back to the show. That was Beto O'Rourke, the presidential candidate, one of the presidential candidates. But he makes absolutely good sense, and I'm glad he chastised the press. That's my point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that's why I played that, because see, for far too long, the press, if you would have started calling Donald Trump a racist from the point that he came down those stairs, even before then, when he started using birtherism against President Obama, we probably wouldn't be here at this point right now. Because you, the press, which is based on white supremacy yourself, who refuses to, anytime a black person decides to speak independently of what's going on and against racism in America, you fire them. You're part of this problem. I'm sorry. I'm feeling better though, Robert.
You get it off your chest.
I'm feeling better though.
You know what's unfortunate? We have this venue to vent. Nobody else does.
I know.
That's unfortunate. But let me tell you something that I thought was really interesting. I thought I wanted to share with folks. So today is the 251st day of this year, 2019. How many mass shootings do you think we've had?
I would say at least 10.
This year?
Yeah.
No. We've had more mass shootings than our days in this year. 256.
Oh, God.
256 mass shootings. This year, as of August 5th, we've had 256 mass shootings, and we have 251 days of the year.
Well, that explains why I'm all out of thoughts and prayers. I've used them all up. They're just
no
gone.
more. You have no more. And it's understandable, brother. It's understandable.
What's the definition of insanity, folks? Come on, y'all know. You just heard, what'd you say, 250 what, 6?
256.
256 mass shootings this year.
Now, everybody, just want to let everybody know, there's a great place to go if you want some research about gun violence. Go to gunviolencearchives.org. Great resource if you want to learn more about gun violence. So let me start at the top of this list, right? It says total number of incidents, 33,214. Number of deaths, these are all gun deaths, not just mass shootings, right? All gun deaths. Number of deaths, 8,787. That does not include the numbers from yesterday and from yesterday, right? Number of injuries, 17,471. Number of children, 6 to 11, killed and or injured, 396. Number of teens, ages 12 to 17, killed or injured, 1,814. Mass shootings, I just told you, was 255. I added the other one because this is updated on the 19th. On the 5th of August. So it didn't update to that. It didn't add the 256 in there. Officer involved incidents. Officer shot or killed. 183. Officer involved incidents. Suspect shot or killed. You ready for this number? 1,203. Officers involved incidents. Officer shot or killed. 183. Home invasions, 1,040. Defensive use, 890. Unintended shootings, 945. Whew, man. Let me read this.
It's daunting.
Let me read this right here. 22,000 annual suicides not included on daily summary ledger. 22,000. So you have suicides that they didn't even count.
Or alleged suicides.
Yeah, alleged suicides. Okay. So this is what I love about the gun violence archives. It says gun violence and crime incidents are collected, validated from 65,000 sources daily. Incidents and their source data are found at the gunviolencearchive.org website. So you're getting good info when you get this play. You're getting the best info there is.
I'm looking up an article, and I thought I had reposted it about the FBI and white supremacy. Because I remember one of the hearings last week, they were asked, or maybe it wasn't last week, but I remember watching briefly one of the hearings about white supremacy when they were, and I guess I won't be able to read this article because they got a paywall now. I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay for that, dog. Sorry, I'm just not going to pay for that. Okay, I'll find some others, but the point being is that the FBI, and they are reluctant to broadcast, or at least, because here's an article by the Free Press says, demand the FBI stop hiding the threat of white supremacy. So they basically, oh, here it is, Christopher Wray, white supremacy, a persistent and pervasive threat. Now, Christopher Wray is the director of the FBI. All right. So if it's a persistent and pervasive threat, here he is. The danger, I think, of white supremacists, violent extremism, and another kind of extremism is, of course, significant. He's told the House Appropriations Committee, we assess that it is persistent and a pervasive threat. We tackle it both through our joint terrorism task forces and domestic terrorism side, as well as through civil rights programs and civil side through hate crime enforcement. When asked whether the agency was cracking down on the problem, Ray reportedly said the FBI was aggressively investigating the increase in cases that have been reported to the agency. He also noted that the increase in reports does not necessarily mean an increase in the overall incidence. Let me just read that part again. When asked whether the agency was cracking down on the problem, Ray reportedly said the FBI was aggressively investigating the increase in cases that have been reported to the agency. Let me read that again. Because Christopher Wray was testifying before the House subcommittee this year. When asked whether the agency was cracking down on the problem, that problem being white supremacy, Wray reportedly said the FBI was aggressively investigating the increase in cases that have been reported to the agency. So, are you telling me that they only investigating cases that are being reported to them?
So it sounds like.
Is that what? That's why I'm. So here's the thing, Robert. I just told you one of the message boards that white supremacists live on. It's called 8chan. Are you telling me that you, the FBI, are not monitoring that board? Are you telling me that people are posting manifestos like that murderer in El Paso did and you weren't paying attention? Is that what I understand? I mean, you tell me. Again, James Baldwin talked about the institutions and how white supremacy is inside the institutions. And until that is dismantled, how do you expect any person of color to trust you? I can't do it. I just can't. Here's another point. So what should you do if a bunch of innocent people gets murdered? You'll like this, Robert, I think. So, was the Muslim a murderer? Was the murderer a Muslim? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Let's say yes.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Then we'll institute travel bans. So if you say no, was the murderer Hispanic? Yes or no?
No. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to say yes.
Yeah, say yes.
Yes.
Then we'll build a wall. But if he's no, was the murderer black?
Was the murderer black? Would that be yes?
Well, yeah, if he's yes, then we'll get more cops. And we'll build more prisons. Was the murderer white?
Yeah, he was white.
We're going to send y'all some thoughts and prayers. We're going to tear up. See how stupid this is. I've told y'all over and over again that racism is illogical. It makes no sense at all. You know, they killed Eric Garner for selling cigarettes. And this boy walks in and kills 29 people. They killed Alton Sterling for what? Selling CDs. And this boy walks in and he kills 29 people. And he doesn't even get a scratch. That's what amazes me about this whole thing. He doesn't even get a scratch. By the way, Ronald Reagan's daughter is asking y'all not to blame him for his racism. Y'all get that right? Dada that's coming out, she said, you know, he never exhibited any of that at home. You're a damn liar.
Stop, man. Stop it.
Come on, man. If you're a racist, you wear it like a badge of honor. And if it's certainly not in public, it's certainly at home. So, no, Maureen O'Regan or whatever your name is, we're not going to forgive him either. Because it was Ronald Reagan who launched into this. Actually, it was Lyndon B. Baines Johnson who made the comment that if you can teach the poorest white boy that he's better than the richest black boy, you'll be able to pick his pockets. And that's what we're seeing here now. That culmination of the 1960s, where all of those politicians, Democrat and Republican, were conspiring to figure out how do they spin this race thing? How do we maintain power?
Right.
And then, of course, Lee Atwater adds more fuel to the fire. What we're seeing today is a culmination of all of that. Is that these races have been enabled by politicians, and then unfortunately, black people have dropped the ball by thinking that it was all over. Yo, man, see, I got a white friend. Yo, man, I got a white girlfriend. You know, man, I ain't eating that restaurant. And y'all didn't realize that they were stealing power from you. What little power you had gained. And that's why I'm upset with people. Because we can blame Donald Trump, but you know what?
This has happened before Donald Trump.
That's what I'm saying. You got to blame all of us who dropped the ball after the 60s, who said, hey, we free dog. We ain't got to worry about that now. I got my government job, man. We ain't got to worry about that stuff. I don't even want to talk about that no more, man. We're in a new world. Really? I'm laughing at y'all.
It is an interesting dynamic, I will say.
It's part of our fault. I've come to that conclusion. And even now, I wonder what the black preachers talked about in their church yesterday. Did they bring this issue up? I don't know. I wasn't in any of them. Purposely. Not going to be indoctrinated any longer by the white man's Jesus. Because you would tend to believe that if those prayers worked, at some point, one of these things would have been stopped. How many did you say this year, Robert?
256.
256 times there's been a mass shooting. Not over the last...
Like one a day.
Right, that's not like over the last 5 years. That's this year, 2019, folks. You understand that?
The Guardian posted something really interesting, right? So more than 175 killed worldwide in the last 8 years in white supremacy linked attacks.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Y'all don't get that right.
Here we go. This is what I've been looking for.
Y'all crazy. I'm telling all y'all crazy. And I'm not laughing because I'm laughing at you. I'm laughing at you because I'm frustrated with you.
Okay, so see, there's some misconceptions around mass shootings, and I want to put this to bed right now. Mass shootings in the U.S. by race as of August 2019. Native American 3, unknown 4, other 5, Asian 8, Latino 10, Black 19, white 64.
What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last number.
You need me to go back and do it again, Dave?
Yeah, I didn't hear that last number.
Okay, let me go back. Native American 3, unknown 4, other 5, Asian 8, Latino 10, Black 19, and white 64.
That last little part, something about 60.
White 64.
White 64. Build that wall, baby. That wall will stop them. Okay? If you build that wall, we will not have any more white terrorism. And I got a bridge to sell you. And that's what they're doing. It's selling you bridges and you dummies are falling for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
Okay, so somebody wanted to know if it was females or just males doing all the shootings?
I don't recall ever seeing a female.
Okay, let me give you the numbers, player.
Okay.
Male and female. There was one shooting with a male and female.
Okay.
That was the one in California.
Yep.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Female, 3.
3. What was that?
Males, 110.
It's the video games. It's the video games and it's the internet. It's video games, man. It's certainly not morals and values. It can't be morals and values. I mean, we're raising our kids in a good Christian nation. They're going to church.
So let's do something real quick, man, because we always having this conversation.
Oh God!
We're always having this conversation about people being killed with guns. So let's not talk about the gun shootings. People killed with knives or cutting instruments. 1,591. Other weapons or weapons not stated, 979. Personal weapons, hands, fists, feet, etc., 696. Blunt objects, 464. Then we get back into guns. Then we have fire, 103. Narcotics, 97. Strangulation, 88. Dang, poison, 13. Drowning, 8.
Wait a minute. I'll be to interrupt you, but I just got to read this.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but this is the problem here. This is a state legislator in Ohio. Her name is Candace Keller. She says, after every mass shooting, the liberals start the blame game. Why not place the blame where it belongs? The breakdown of the traditional American family. Thank you, transgender, homosexual marriage, and drag queen advocates. Fatherlessness. Okay, now wait a minute. I'm going to take this step by step. What American traditions? In fact, wasn't it white men who were raping black boys to break them? So when you want to talk about homosexuality, then white people started it. What about fatherlessness that she brings up? Well, wait a minute. White people were the first people to create fatherlessness by selling black children from fathers and mothers, their slaves. Remember that? A subject no one discusses or believes is relevant. The ignoring of violent video games.
Right.
Okay? That's always their mantra. Because video games have nothing to do with it. I know, look, me and my son played SOCOM, and I'd come home every day and shoot people in the head on a video game. I never went out and shot anybody in the head walking down the street. All right? The relaxing laws against criminals, open borders, the acceptance of recreational marijuana. Yeah, smoking that pot, that'll make you want to go out and shoot up people. Yeah, getting your head bad. That ganja. If that was the case, then the Jamaicans would have been there and wore our ass out. We'd be fighting the war on the southern border because the Jamaica they smoke much ganja. Failed school policies. Hello. Parents who defend misbehaving students. Disrespect to law enforcement. Thank you, Obama. Athletes who hate the national anthem. Hatred of our veterans. Thank you, professional athletes. The Democratic Congress. Many members who are openly anti-Semitic. The culture, which totally ignores the importance of God and the church until they elect a president. State office holders who have no interest whatsoever in learning about our Constitution, and clearly your ass don't know about it either. And the Second Amendment. And snowflakes who can't accept a duly elected president. Well, wait a minute. You took a shot at Obama, so clearly you didn't accept him. See, this is the double standard that white people have here. And they are the problem. Here is a woman claiming that she's posting the answer when in fact she is exhibiting her racism and bigotry. And this is a state elected official.
What state?
This is in the state of Ohio. This shooting happened in her state. And this is what she posted. I think you make a good point, Robert.
Ooh, man, y'all own one today. I can't read none of what y'all sending today. Y'all own one.
I'm just saying, this crap right here is part of the problem. We have got to start calling these people out. As I've said over and over again, you got a white friend, ask them have they seen When They See Us. And matter of fact, let me do this. Let me see if I go out and find that clip by Hines Ward. Because Hines Ward made an excellent point when he entered the Hall of Fame yesterday. To my white friends, when we tell you that we are afraid, believe us. This was Hines Ward. This is not a joke out here. When my son leaves home, you can damn right I'm afraid. My son right now is in the military. But you don't think I worry about him being accosted by some racist? You don't think I worry about my daughter being accosted by some racist? And you white folks sit around and say, oh, well, you know, there's no racism in America. Well, why don't you just spit in my eye?
Dave, I just sent it to you.
Ooh, son.
Take it
Woo, son.
Take it deep in the day. Take it deep.
White Christian Taliban.
Take it deep in the
This is your baby. This is your problem. I'm tired of what black folks trying to think. Black folks, you're spending too much energy trying to solve white racism. White people made it. They created it. They must solve it. And you know where you could start? You know what would really blow people away? If you simply just said, you know what? We are going to give black folks reparations. We need to make a bold statement about racism in America. See, if we had leadership, what'd you send it?
Oh, that's what I'm on.
If we had leadership, if you really want to solve, because you're never going to really solve racism, but if you really want to solve racism, a bold leader would say, hey, look, torpedoes be damned. We're going to give reparations to black people. Let's really begin to solve this problem. Because from the Emancipation Proclamation forward, you did nothing except obfuscate and dominate and destroy black communities across this country. But you all fail to realize that we are in the middle of Red Summer, the 100-year anniversary of the Red Summer, where thousands of black people were murdered for their land, for their stores, for their property. There's an irony here. And I wouldn't doubt that somewhere in the sick recesses mind of some racist organization is that these shootings are by design this summer to commemorate the Red Summer. I don't know that to be true, but it makes me wonder. 855-525-5683 is the number. We're going to go out and take a quick break. We're going to try to cue up this Hines Ward thing. You got to hear this. Black people, when you have a platform, you don't have time to be pussyfooting around. Use your platform to speak truth to power. And that's what Hines Ward did yesterday. Back in a moment.
I just sent you here, Reed.
So what?
I just sent you here, Reed. I can't find Hines Ward. Whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, saints abroad, get ready from Sumter, South Carolina. It's Minister Lee Burgess and Resurrection.
You said you want to hear Reed, right?
Yeah. Resurrection, a talented bunch of seasoned veterans, have been doing this a little while now, but have just released for your enjoyment their new single. Save me, Jesus. Save me, Jesus. Save me. Minister Lee Burgess and Resurrection. This new project is available on all digital outlets. Get yours now and catch up to what everybody's been talking about. Minister Lee Burgess and Resurrection. Call now, 803-847-6227.
I sent it to your Facebook.
Okay.
803-847-6227. And enjoy Minister Lee Burgess and Resurrection. Save me, Jesus. Save me. number in 501-406-7134. That's 501
Yeah, Ed Reed and Hines Ward.
7134. That will get you some fabulous chicken wings delivered right.
Well, Ed Reed was like 38 minutes. Let's see if. Yeah, his is 38 minutes. Maybe it wasn't Hines Ward. Maybe it was Champ Bailey.
You need Champ Bailey's?
Yeah, I have it already.
You got Champ Bailey's already. It was Champ Bailey. I didn't think it was that.
Yeah, it was.
I'm attorney to something for the Thompson Law Firm, and I want to help with your legal matters. Whether it's criminal defense, bankruptcy, personal injury, or family law, I want to help you. I can be reached at 501-503-5095. Don't face your legal issues alone. You need an attorney whose primary objective is to provide you with the best legal representation. Our office address is 415 North McKinley, Suite 710 in Little Rock. I'm attorney Toledo, and I want to provide you with the best legal representation.
I'm so glad I found the Kick Above. It's like my very own personal training studio. A Kick Above removed the guesswork and intimidation and offered me a very supportive and structured environment specific to my personal goals. Kim Leverett and her certified personal trainers even offered nutritional guidelines for my personal workout. It's about me at a Kick Above. Call 501-868-8850 or go to akickabove.com. Now, what am I wearing tonight? Thanks to a Kick Above, I look marvelous.
All right, welcome back to the show. Dave Coleman, Robert Webb in the house, 855.
A very mild Robert Webb. A very calm Robert Webb. A very demure Robert Webb. Very suave Robert Webb.
What you trying to say, dog?
I'm just saying I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm feeling pretty good today.
What you trying to say, dog?
I'm just saying America's wonderful. I love America. I pledge allegiance today to the flag today, dog. I pledge allegiance to the flag today.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's about to go down.
No, I don't know that I can say that.
Well, you can't say it's about to go down. You can't pledge allegiance to the flag.
I can't pledge allegiance to the flag.
You don't act like that, Dad. You don't love America. All America done gave you. You don't love America. You ungrateful something.
Okay, thank you. You know, I love America for the fact that I can say that I don't love America.
I love the Lord. He heard my cry.
I was actually looking for the audio, and I've been saying, I'm sorry, Hines Ward. It is actually Champ Bailey. But I do have some text from Champ Bailey. He says, most of us are athletes, but we are black men first. Ooh.
That was so sexy.
Understand this. The things that make us great on the field, like our size and our aggression, are the same things that can get us killed off the field. I believe if we start listening, there's no telling the progress we can make. If we can't get our friends to listen, then no one will. To my black brothers, if you don't have anything positive to say about our social challenges, keep your mouth shut.
The ball has been dropped.
Here's more from Champ Bailey. I'm a firm believer that if you want to create change, is to start with your friends and family. We say to all of our white friends, when we tell you about our fears, please listen. When we tell you we're afraid for our kids, please listen. When we tell you there are many challenges we face because of our color, the color of our skin, please listen. And please do not get caught up in how the message is delivered. That was a powerful speech.
That was, man. That's real right there. I like my favorite part was, y'all need to shut the hell up.
Exactly. I'm just saying, man.
You niggas trying to curry favor. Y'all need to be quiet.
Those people that have those platforms, and that's why, I would love to love Michael Jordan, but I can't. What Michael Jordan?
You can't love Mike, man. He got the shoes. He got the shoes.
Michael
man.
Jordan chose. He chose
to get paid.
Money.
He chose to get paid
over morals.
He chose to get paid.
He could have still made just
Michael
as
Jordan
much money.
said, white people buy shoes too. Man.
He could have still made just as much money.
Oh no, he can't.
Okay.
Dang. I'm
how much?
this article.
How much money is
you,
too much money?
It shows you
how much money is too much money.
It shows you that athletes that identify black make 4 times less than athletes who don't.
I know the article you're talking about, but in Michael Jordan's case, when you go back and you look at how up until Michael Jordan, the only other athlete that got near that stratosphere was who?
Magic.
No.
Who before Magic?
Muhammad Ali.
Look at what Muhammad Ali had to go to get there.
I agree, and I would argue that Michael is when they did the survey of the most recognized athletes around the world, Muhammad Ali came in first every time. Okay? Every time. So my point being is that even though he went through, and during the time what he went through was in the 60s, Jordan was being great in the 80s and 90s. There was no way that the media was going to turn their back on him. There was no way that Nike was going to turn their back on him. All he had to do was step up. And my point in all of this is to say that if you look at the history of our people, quite often the only times that they could speak and have the world hear them were in athletic contests. There's a tradition of black athletes standing up. It goes all the way back to the Olympics in 1936 with
Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens. I'm going to say Jesse Jackson. Keep hope alive. It goes all the way back to that. It comes all the way to the 1968 Olympics with Dr. Jimmy Smith and John Carlos. They used those platforms to speak out injustice. It was even Hank Aaron who did the same. It just goes, you have athlete after athlete that use the forum. Even Jim Brown participated with Kurt Flood, Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That famous picture of all of those black athletes in the 60s coming together for one cause, and that was civil rights. Yeah. We've always used that forum. And for black athletes to all of a sudden sell us down the river.
But it's not uncommon. We've always.
I ain't got no love for you, man. That's why I can't stand Jordan.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah, he's a great basketball, but he is morally deaf.
I'm gonna say one thing, and I know you're gonna know who I'm talking about. Hurts.
He's another one.
Hey, man.
And by the way,
you identify as
he
black,
posted on this.
I ain't even letting you say that on here. I ain't even letting you say it on here. I'm not even letting you say it on here, man. I'm not letting you say that. I'm not even letting you reference that cat. Not even gonna do it, player. Not even gonna do it. But there's some significance to athletes who don't identify as black. Now, look at Michael Jordan, Magic.
Well, Magic identifies.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
Name me one thing Magic spoke out about. Name me one.
Well,
hold on. When Rodney King got the hell out of him, Magic ain't say nothing.
But what did Magic do?
What did Magic say?
He didn't say anything at the time, but what did he do afterwards?
Afterwards, like what?
What did he do afterwards?
Like what?
It was Magic Johnson who went into South Central and rebuilt that, helped rebuild that. Yeah. How? Because you opened the bay doors.
No, Dave, that's a wild, really, Dave? Really? He went in there,
But then, too, you got to realize Magic wasn't into speaking out to anything. Magic was into getting butt.
Now they're getting paid like everybody else.
Well, no.
Everybody else trying to get paid.
Magic was chasing
That's why I
tail.
have so much love for LeBron. Because LeBron, he does.
That's
he is the most conscious athlete other than Muhammad Ali
of our
in my lifetime.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And that's why they hate him so bad. And that's why I get
I think the reason they hate him is not because he's so outspoken, but I believe they hate him because he has stopped the NBA. He has stopped them from encapsulating him with the NBA usual.
Right. So
because he's created his own team outside the NBA, and if that catches on, you have other players in the NBA doing that. Then man, that kills that whole flux or that whole little group that they have where they keep the money in that little tight knit group.
Well, when I say they hated him, because it was him who decided to take his career into his own hands and leave Cleveland. Okay? And what you're seeing now in the aftermath of all of this is other athletes are doing the very same thing, taking their career. So to what you're saying,
and that's another
true.
great example of the value of black folks, right?
Right.
So when owners trade off guys and they trade guys or whatever, you hear that's a great move and all this kind of stuff. But then when you have athletes who start to figure out, what, we have value. And with that value comes some decision making,
comes some power.
Right. So I'm gonna determine where I want to go. Well, now all of a sudden you hear guys. Well, anyway, I'm gonna say purists just to be fair, but you have guys saying, "Oh man, that's terrible that players get to decide where they go." I mean, shouldn't I decide who I want to play for? If I want to play for the Lakers, if I want to play with the Lakers, shouldn't I be able to force a trade to the Lakers? I mean, come on. And people say, "Well, if that's the case, then everybody's gonna go try to play for the winning team." Nah, I don't think I want to play for the winning team. I want to beat the winning team, but I want to play with some other cats who can help me do that, right? So these are all examples of the racism to some degree that exists, and sometimes I love the way it's hidden, right?
I want to go back to your OJ thing for a moment.
Okay.
I kind of, and I know this is going to sound strange, but I kind of look at OJ and Michael Jackson, and to some extent Michael Jordan, in the same light. Here's one. And I'm not talking about the murder part of it.
That's fair.
I'm talking about the mentality part of it.
Okay.
Here was Michael Jackson. And I guess I'm equating to the power of white supremacy.
I can't really fault Michael Jackson.
Wait, let me finish my point. Go ahead. I'm not faulting him. I understand the pressure that he was under. And I think that white supremacy had such an effect on him that, no, he didn't have vitiligo, folks. I'm sorry. Newsflash. He purposely lightened his skin. That mentality, along with, and you saw that what happened with Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa looks pink now. Okay? I think the same with OJ. I read a piece, well, maybe it was a documentary, I believe, a few years ago about OJ and how the pressure to be different from the black kids was so profound on him growing up that it began to affect him to think that he wasn't black. Because if you remember early on, OJ had a black wife. It wasn't until he became accepted in white TV that he didn't think he was black anymore. Okay? So what I'm saying is that the drunkenness of white acceptance, it corrupts a lot of us. Well, now those are high profile, but think about,
people have been taught that white acceptance pays to be.
Exactly.
And so therefore they don't really mind being or doing what needs to be.
So they ignore morals.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say they accept morals.
They ignore them. They don't accept them.
They just don't speak out.
Well, wait a minute. If you don't speak out, you accept them. You accept them.
I don't think you accept them if you don't speak out.
Okay, so
I think if you don't speak out.
So wait a minute. Donald Trump is a racist. Everybody knows that. Anyone who doesn't speak out against him, who claims that's what Eddie Glaude was talking about. That's what he was saying to that governor. Is that you will not even condemn the racism that is obvious in your face. Then that's part of the problem. The people who allow the race. That's what happened with Hitler.
I'm really cautious, man, about throwing that race thing around. I'm really cautious about calling somebody racist.
Well,
And the reason
Donald
I say
Trump
that-
is a racist.
The reason I say that.
Donald Trump is a racist.
No, the reason I say
Tom
that-
Cotton is a racist.
Stop, man. The reason I say that is I say
Asa Hutchinson is a
I say that
racist.
for two reasons. This is why I say that, right? Because once you put that on something,
I don't care.
it's hard to take it off.
I don't care.
And I know there's some things I've done that people might say, you know what, you can label me with almost anything, right? And I don't think it's fair, right? I don't think it's fair. Now,
Remember what Andrew Gillum said about his
I
opponent
say
in the
more-
race?
Who was that?
Remember the Florida race, Andrew Gillum and Ron DeSantis?
Right.
Remember what Andrew Gillum said about the race?
I know.
He said, they asked him in the debate, I said, do you think Ron DeSantis is a racist? He said, I don't know if Ron DeSantis is a racist. But I know the people that are following him and supporting him are. You get that, right?
Yeah.
Same thing for Mr. Trump.
People who kill us follow me, but I don't kill anybody. I'm not killing anybody. Not right now.
I ain't on your list, there. Hey, we friends, man. We friends.
Sick, bro.
But my point is this:
I get your point.
it's almost like, and I hate to use this term,
But see,
but
this is the problem. This is the problem with me for racism, right? Once we paint somebody with that race as a racist, then that kills the conversation. There's nowhere we can go from there. There's no dialogue that we can have after that. Because if I say you're a racist, then there's a whole mindset that comes with being a racist, right? And that mindset is you're not going to hear anything I say from here to the hindrance, right?
But they're not hearing anything you say anyway. Would you say?
I don't know. I
Would
don't-
you say
I-
that?
I
Would
don't
you
wanna
say that
believe
that city board, the Little Rock City Board, is racist?
I would not.
Would you say there are racist elements?
I would not say they're racist.
Would you say there were racist
I would say there's
elements?
some things that I would. I
Would
would
sir,
I will
sir,
say
would you
there's
answer the
some
question?
things-
Would you say there
Are
are
you ever let
racist
me?
elements?
I would say that there's some racist elements.
So if there are racist elements that are involved in that city board, and the city board is not doing anything to excise those racist elements, then in itself the board is racist.
Now the board's going to tell you they're not racist because they got a black city manager.
They're going to tell you that. Yeah, they're going to tell you that.
And half of their department heads are black.
Well, they can tell you that, but that doesn't mean that they're not racist.
I don't disagree with you.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't disagree.
So
with
because
you,
what
but at
I'm
the
saying
same
is,
time,
when was the last thing
again,
that,
Dave,
sir? No, are you defending the city board?
No.
Y'all, Robert
No.
Webb was in here defending
if you
Joan Adcock.
Once you put the racist label on anybody, it kills the conversation. There's no way to go.
Good,
from there.
good. Because
It's not good.
it is to me
It's
because
not good if you
it's,
want-
it's
if you want
time for
change.
us to start calling. If we would have put the racist label on Donald Trump when Donald Trump started the birtherism project, then Donald Trump wouldn't be president. See, that
I get
doesn't
that.
work with me.
I get that.
Okay?
Hold on.
If we got to start calling people what they are, and we got to start pointing it out, and we got to start saying that we not just black folks,
Right.
but white folks have got to start saying, we're not going to tolerate your racism. We don't need that crap here. Get it out of here. But what has happened is a lot of white folks have tacitly approved of it and said nothing, and now it is a cancer that is about to destroy this country. Because as I said the other day, we ain't our grandparents. I'm going to say it again.
Hold on, let me read this because I don't want to forget.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, the Center for Arkansas Legal Services and Goodwill Industries of Arkansas will be holding a free Arkansas criminal record sealing clinic in Pine Bluff on Friday, August 16th, 2019. The event will be located at the Goodwill store at 2415 West 28th Avenue. They will start seeing clients at 10:30, and their last appointment starts at 2:30. The clinic will end at 3:30. Our participants must have an appointment to receive direction on what documents to bring to the clinic. It is impossible to assist impossible to assist someone if they do not have the correct documentation. Appointments are made by contacting the helpline at 501-376-3423 on weekdays from 9 a.m. to 11 and 1 to 3 p.m. Please let me know what other information. Okay, so hey, y'all check that out. Pass it around to your friends. It is kind of, so it's just not an open door thing. You gotta have a point.
Yeah, because it doesn't do any good to go down and say, hey, look, can you help me? They want to get it done that day.
Or they want to,
Right, so you want to have those documents available and ready.
in hand.
So when you walk in that door, you ain't got to come back for an appointment. They're going to take your case and fix it.
Fix it right
or
there.
begin fixing it. So they don't have time to be calling you and say, man, we need document A or document B. You need to call them, make sure that the documents, what type of documents you need. It's kind of like going to a job interview. You need to take your resume, all right? So you need to call them and say, well, what do I need? Same thing applies. You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
And also, they are trying to help you with your child support. I don't know, just be careful with that. But there was an announcement over the weekend that sometime this week, if you're behind on child support, they'd like you to come down to the office and work out your child support. I don't know what else that could mean except it ain't like they gonna give you a job.
Give you a job, right?
You know, so I don't know about all that. But anyway, but that's what they're talking about on that, bro. 855-525-5683 is the number. So I want to show you something because I got a Russ Raycott, but I've seen this before. But Russ Raycott posted this again. Now, on this is a picture of Donald Trump and Charles Manson. Look at their faces and look at their reactions.
You're a Russ, man. You're a Russ, man. Y'all need to stop.
I'm just going to say, Charles Manson never killed anyone.
No, he didn't.
Charles Manson never killed anyone. And we have to be careful. Look, we always like to refer to Hitler as a person that was a silver-tongued devil. We like to refer to him. But we've had those occur over and over again right here in the United States. Remember Jim Koresh in Texas and Waco?
Yeah.
How all of those people burned to death because they were worshiping him and refused to leave that house?
They believed, dog.
Okay.
Believing will get you killed.
Right. We talked about Jim Jones and all of those over 500 people, black and white.
I always wondered this, and I don't think I'm crazy. I wonder what kind of Kool-Aid they had. What brand was it? I've always wondered that. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but I've always wondered that. I mean, seriously, I've always wondered what kind of Kool-Aid could have been. I mean, they all drank.
Now, and here's the other thing that you don't realize that
okay,
all of those people didn't voluntarily drink Kool-Aid.
so not all of them volunteered.
They were either drank the Kool-Aid or you were gonna be killed. Okay, they had armed people around them, forcing people to drink that Kool-Aid. So just be aware of that. But my point being is that we've had enough silver-tongued devils right here in the United States to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that words do matter. Man, I've earned my living doing radio. Things I say, how I say them, those words matter. And for someone who may not have all of their bread baked, they can take one word or one phrase and use that as an impetus to go and murder people. And when you have the President of the United States clearly race baiting from the time even before he got into office, you know, to me it's not even an equivocation whether or not he's a racist. I just go back and look at his history. I go back and look at his grandfather's history. I look at his father's history, who was caught on multiple times at Klan rallies. That was he out strolling looking for a place to picnic and ran up on a Klan rally? Now, if his father's going to a Klan rally, what is he teaching his children, his son? And then his son openly says he don't want black people counting his money. He openly says that he don't want black people living in his apartment complexes. He openly took out a full-page ad to kill 5 innocent boys of color. If that ain't racism, what is it? I can't give him a pass on that. And the bottom line is, we in the media have been doing so. The white media have been doing so. And Fox News has been basically his tank, his media tank. See, people think, oh, well, Fox News has the best ratings. The reason Fox News has the best ratings doesn't mean that they have the best news. Think about that.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. So they just didn't use Kool-Aid. They used Kool-Aid and Flavor Aid. And of course, you know what the flavor was, right? You know what the black folks did. Because they did great. They used strawberry.
No, there were black folks there.
Well, it couldn't have been a whole bunch. Because the black
No,
folks
there were quite a few black folks in the Jim Jones clan. Quite a few. Because I remember saying, why would black folks follow that crazy white man?
Yeah, it was great. Two great flavored mixes. Flavor Aid and Kool-Aid. I always wanted that, man.
Now you know what they used to call mixing, flavors, right?
Don't tell me.
You know what they used to call it?
Don't tell me.
They used to call it making a suicide.
What is the stupidest thing in the world? Yeah. Okay.
Y'all didn't call it that growing up? You go and you get different flavors and you just put it all in the same cup. It was called a suicide. You get Coke and Sprite and orange and lemon and strawberry and all that stuff. You mix it in the same cup. It was called a suicide. So that's kind of ironic that you brought that up.
Ooh, I'm in pain right now. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Club leader.
Yeah.
Really?
There you go.
Hey man, I can't put the comments y'all sending today, so maybe tomorrow I can put some of y'all comments. I'm not repeating any of y'all comments today because y'all is way out there. And just for the record, yeah, I was curious about what kind of Kool-Aid the people at Jamestown drank. I was always curious about that, but I never was curious enough to look it up till today. So
that ain't me, y'all.
Back at y'all, players.
I told y'all he crazy.
Back at y'all. Stop texting me.
No, keep texting me. What's Robert? Well, he's so crazy.
Stop texting me.
Well, I don't know if we got anything accomplished, but I do feel better now. I did voice.
I'm glad you feel better.
I did.
I'm glad we could enlighten and engage folks today.
Well, I'm glad that people can see that we're human. Quite often when we do these shows, they think we know everything and we're above them. It just goes to show you I'm human. And Robert, now he may not be human. I think he's like a cyborg, man. But me, I'm a human. I'm flesh and sinew.
I'm the most human brother. This side of the Mississippi. Booyah!
So I hope y'all have a great weekend. I hope the whole point of this show really was to motivate you to get off your asses and do something.
Do a little something, huh?
Do something, man. Stop complaining. Stop. And whatever you do, don't play any video games. Whatever you do, stop your kids from playing video games.
Video games kill.
So that Super Mario Brothers has got to go. Donkey Kong was trying to kill that little white man and his woman. Got to go. Gallagher killing all them aliens. Man, what y'all talking about? Oh man, we gotta go. All right, Robert, say your little thing.
Well, my thing gotta be little. My thing ain't little.
Okay, so
can you rephrase that? Can you rephrase that?
I just don't want.
Can you rephrase that?
Okay, Robert.
Rephrase it.
We're getting ready to go. Will you please do your little closing?
Why you guys keep saying little, dude?
Okay. Robert, we're leaving now.
Okay.
You can go ahead and do what you do.
Hey, spend money on community. If you don't, nobody else will. Peace.
Brilliant minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. Which do you possess? Y'all have a great day. All right, where's my 2 o'clock crew?